All right. How's everybody doing on this beautiful day? Last Friday, we had the open house. It was awesome. It was great. I had my current landlord at the sign company come by, Greg. I have a lot of respect for this man. He's done so much as a developer here in San Diego, and just the conversations we have are just different. And it's a lot of fun to talk to him. So him and I got to catch up. A lot of my friends came, colleagues, clients, current clients. It was just a lot of fun. We ended up having about 40, 45 couples come through the building, see everything, have a couple drinks. The core group of Square Coil and some of our closer friends ended up staying till 9, 10 o'clock at night. It was just a blast. It was really, really fun. I have no idea how many bottles of wine we went through, but worth every penny. So Monday, I got to hand out, I have a special person here at Square Coil. Her name is Crystal. She came in on Saturday and cleaned up afterwards, even though we were going to clean up that Friday night. So thank you, Crystal. You're a rock star for that. Made it even easier on us. Monday, we come in and it is day one of being here. We're not moving in. We're not upping boxes. We are here and working like it's a normal day. And the first thing I want to do is have a board meeting and walk into it's not a board meeting. It's just a meeting of the minds to have all the employees and me and everybody come together. And we walk in the boardroom, we sit down and we say, okay, what do we want to focus on first? What can we make better for Square Coil? And we have 3 buckets, in the SaaS world. We have the clientele, the potential clientele that we're courting. We have the implementation bucket once they sign and how to get the software up and running. And then we have the active client and making sure that we're keeping them happy. Those are 3 buckets all in all. It's a very simple setup and system. The sign world is a little bit more complex, and we're going to get to that here in a little bit. So we said, which one should we focus on making better? And in the end, we decided that the second bucket, the implementation bucket, could use some polishing, could use a little bit better. And so we said, okay, what are we doing now? So we talked about it, and we've sent them a nice, beautiful letter saying, welcome to the Square Coil family. These are the steps you're going to have. These are the meetings that we're going to have to set it up. And we kind of put it all together. Once we did that, we would then, send it off to the client, say, during your time frame, it could be a day, it could be a week, we will meet at these milestone markers. And if they didn't get a hold of us after a week, we'd call them. And after another week, we'd call them. But, sometimes it takes people a month or 2 to set the system up. Sometimes it takes them only a day to set it up. We had one person inside of 24 hours did the entire setup, the entire system. It was amazing. The system takes about 8 hours to set up from start to finish to get all of the pertinent company information from your company into it and complete setup and dialed in. If you really know your company, I can honestly set it up for you in about 3 hours. But you got to know the ins and outs and your profit margins and overhead rates and all that fun stuff. So we go on their time frame. But one of the things that we noticed and we kind of missed here was we sent out a letter. Now I have noticed this. Well, let me backtrack here. Let me tell you a little story. About 4.5 years ago, I had Jeannie as my assistant. You've heard about her. She's been on a couple of these podcasts. I had Jeannie as my assistant, and I was doing sales of the sign company. And I had a long-winded email coming out of 4 or 5 paragraphs of information. And I quickly skimmed through it. And I said, great, I got the information from the monument sign. I got their logo. We're set. And I wrote the design request and we go. And she walks in and sits down on my desk and she goes, you see the email from Sharon? And I said, yes, I did. And she goes, do you see we have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m.? I said, what? There's a meeting. And I pulled the email back up. Down at the bottom, the very last sentence says, I would like to meet with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. at my office. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but men and women are different. Here's one of the ways. Men will write in the top sentence the important information. Hey, come over to my house tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're going to have some beers. Maybe we'll go to the movies later on. Maybe we'll go catch a game. I don't know, but we'll see you then. Girls will write the same email. Hey, ladies, I can't wait to see you guys. It's been too long. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope the kids are doing great and it's fun. I would love to see you guys sometime. It sounds like a lot of fun. How about you come to my house tomorrow at 4 o'clock for red wine and whatnot? The important information is at the bottom of the paragraph. With men, it's at the top. Very important when you're writing emails or writing letters of who you're talking to. We wrote a long-winded letter that had information at the top, the middle, and the bottom on the implementation. The men who skimmed it, and frankly, some of the women who skimmed it, missed the important parts at the bottom. So we started to sit back and said, okay, how can we make this easier to read? We found out the owners of companies, the people who are signing up for the software for us, are also the people that have so much on their plate, they do not have time to read every word in every email. Now, I will say that some women will find more hours in the day to get that done and do it strategically. Men will start to skim and skip and kind of cut corners to get stuff done. It's usually more of a man trait than a female trait. I have seen a couple of women do it too. We said, okay, how do we make this implementation setup a whole lot better? So we said, okay, let's do bullet points and let's make the font like 24-point font for the main dates that are due dates. So there's 5 of them, big 24-point font. Then below that in 16-point font, the details of what's going to happen on the day and what needs to be done. So that way, not only is it easy to read, it's a bullet point, not a paragraph. But if I were to print that out and set it on my desk and say, what's today, the 5th? Oh, that's happening. It's super easy to grab just the information you need to not read everything again. So we decided to reset up this implementation setup in an outline format and not so much an email, and have it on a document and not bury it inside of an email. Those 2 things were the changes that we did for implementation, hoping to make this a better process.
I want to take a moment to talk about true champions that are helping the industry out, and that's Wendy Graves. You guys have all known her for Women in Science. She's been pushing that for quite some time, but she's also made a new alliance to help the industry out, and that's with Make It Happen Signage Academy here. I don't want to get this wrong here, so I'm going to read right from this, www.signage-academy/MIH-glance. That's the information. We're going to go ahead and put it at the bottom of the show notes here and on this clip so you guys can click on it. She's going to be working with the Make It Happen Signage Academy for the Illuminated Signage Bootcamp, what's on the front lines, teaching project managers, sales, and everything in between. So definitely sign up for those things. Wendy's been doing some great work, so you definitely want to support her, and you're going to learn a lot.
This morning, well, for you guys, yesterday, we had a client sign up. We sent them the new implementation package. We called them up. We asked if there was any questions. It was one of the smoothest implementations that we've had for day one. Now, it's not done yet, so I can't count all my chickens here. They haven't all come home to roost. But it was smoother than it normally was because the gentleman on the end of the phone understood it, he got it, and it was easy for him to read and digest. All right, wins for Square Coil. But as soon as I got out of that meeting, I started thinking about my sign company, and I said, okay, how can integrated signs benefit from this? How can we make this better? And I got the answer for you. The sign company doesn't have 3 little buckets like a SaaS company does. We are kind of teaching our potential client about our sign company while we are courting them. We're doing a design, we're doing an estimate for them, getting them a proposal, and praying that they sign on the dotted line. And then we get to manufacture and build, design, and install it. So they're kind of combined. We don't get to court the client to say, yes, we're going to go with you, design and build it. We kind of have to do all the legwork up front and hopefully that they sign. So I said, okay, how do we make this implementation process a little bit better? And then it kind of dawned on me, we are training our customer as our customer's training us. We need to show them how they're going to flow while working with integrated signs. And at the same time, we are going to learn what they need and what they don't want as we talk to them and get to know them. Here's my epiphany. And I want you guys to learn from this and please implement it in your company and then give me feedback on how it works for you guys because I got a feeling this is going to be a home run. I have not done it personally because, again, this thought process is all about 48 hours old. I am going to create a piece of paper that says, welcome to Integrated Science. This is what you are going to expect. It's going to be beautiful glossy paper, thicker cardstock, and it's going to explain in the next 7 to 10 days, you're going to get drawings. We normally have 1 to 2 revisions from our clients until we get the design right for what they want. Number 2, our estimates take 2 to 3 days once a design is finalized. Number 3, once the estimate's done, we will create a proposal to present to you. Number 4, if we've hit the nail on the head the first time, great, a contract can be signed and put into place. If not, talk to us about your timeframes, your colors, your budgetary constraints. What can we do to make sure it goes inside so it's a home run for you as the purchaser? I love this because it gives them a 1, 2, 3, 4 checklist punch list. But what it also does is show them exactly what they are going to expect from working with this sign company. Right now, I bet you guys verbally do it. I bet you that's what you do, right? You kind of tell them, all right, well, next week we'll get you some drawings and we'll go from there. And it's kind of whimsical, right? There's nothing hard and concrete on it. Well, what happens if it was Monday and your sales rep said, yeah, you'll get drawings on Tuesday? Tuesday's technically tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or is it a week from now? You could have just had your first miscommunication with that client. Miscommunications lead to doubt. If they don't, they're not looking at you and trying to understand what's happening, maybe it's because they didn't understand correctly. But doubt always leads to getting other quotes, and they don't have that confidence in your company. So with this being said, that piece of paper would solve it all, wouldn't it? And they would have something tangible in their hands. I met with somebody, look what I got. Pretty cool, right? How would you feel if somebody came to your place of business and wanted to sell you something, a structure of some kind, a gazebo out back for the employees for the lunch break room or whatnot, and they said, here's what you're going to expect from Gazebos R Us, and then explained, you're going to get drawings in a week, you're going to explain this, our lead time's about 4 to 6 weeks, this is what's going to happen, and they have all this information, and then just like clockwork, just like the piece of paper says, the drawings show up in 7 to 10 days. The quote shows up in 2 to 3 days later. You're doing exactly what you said you're going to do. The confidence is building in that potential customer. I really, truly, in my heart, believe that this is going to add 2 more signatures on the bottom line. I really can't wait to implement it. But as these ideas pop in my mind, and the more I talk them out loud, the more they're going to solidify in my brain. I'm going to find the best way to do it. So in this way, you guys are my audience. I'm talking out loud. And so for this podcast, it's kind of more for me than you guys, because the more I talk about it, the more I'm going to really hone in on exactly what this is. But you guys definitely got some good ideas now. And I really hope that you implement this, because I really think this might be a game changer for a lot of the sign companies. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to talk to you guys next week, and we'll talk then.